Imagine waking up in a world where nobody has ever said the word red. The sky is blue, but no one calls it blue. Grass is green, but no one has a name for it. So here's a question almost nobody asks. Who named the colors? Was there one person who looked at the sky and said, let's call this blue? Or did the names slowly appear over thousands of years? The answer is far stranger than you might think. Long before writing, smartphones, or even farming, humans could already see colors just as we do today. Their eyes worked the same way ours do. But seeing a color and having a word for it are two different things. Imagine trying to describe a sunset without saying red or orange or pink. You'd probably say, the sky looks like fire. That's exactly how many early humans communicated. Instead of naming colors, they compared them to things around them: blood, ash, leaves, the sun, or snow. The colors existed. The words didn't. Imagine standing beside an early human as the sun slowly disappears behind the mountains. The sky begins changing from bright yellow to orange to deep red and finally black. Today, we describe every stage with different color names. But thousands of years ago, there were no words for any of them. Instead, people probably described what they reminded them of. The sky burns like fire. The clouds look like smoke. The darkness is coming. They understood exactly what they were seeing. They just described the world through familiar objects instead of abstract color names. That's a completely different way of thinking. Linguists have discovered something fascinating. Most languages seem to develop color words in a surprisingly similar order. First comes black and white, not because people couldn't see other colors, but because the biggest difference people noticed was light versus dark. Then came red. Why red? Because blood, fire, ripe fruit, and danger were impossible to ignore. Later came words for green and yellow. Finally, blue appeared. This surprises many people. Blue is everywhere in the sky and oceans. So why wasn't it named earlier? Because the sky wasn't thought of as an object with its own color. Many ancient cultures simply described it as bright, endless, or heavenly. One of history's biggest mysteries involves the color blue. In some ancient texts, including famous poems, the sea isn't even described as blue. Instead, it's compared to wine or darkness. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But researchers believe people simply didn't have a dedicated everyday word for blue yet. Once ancient civilizations began creating beautiful blue dyes and pigments, the color became much more important in everyday life. People started talking about it more. Artists used it. Traders sold it. Kings prized it. And over time, languages developed specific names for it. The color didn't suddenly appear. The word did. Sometimes, the world has always been there. We just haven't found the words for it yet. When civilizations finally learned how to create brilliant blue pigments, the color suddenly became valuable, beautiful, and worth naming. Not every culture divided colors the same way. Some languages used one single word for both blue and green. Imagine that. Others had multiple different words for shades that English simply calls blue. Even today, languages don't all categorize colors in exactly the same way. This reminds us that language doesn't just help us describe the world. This raises an interesting question. If your language never gave blue its own name, would you notice it differently? Scientists have spent decades studying this idea. Some experiments suggest that people are quicker at telling colors apart when their language has separate words for them. That doesn't mean people without those words can't see the colors. They absolutely can. But language may influence how quickly our brains categorize what our eyes already see. It's a small difference, yet it reveals something remarkable about the relationship between words and thought. So who actually named them? The truth is, nobody and everybody. There wasn't a king, scientist, or artist who officially named the colors. Millions of ordinary people slowly created these words over generations. Parents taught children. Neighbors copied one another. Stories were told. Languages evolved. Over thousands of years, certain words became the standard. The names we use today are the result of countless conversations stretching back into prehistory. Think about how words spread today. Someone invents a new slang word online. Friends start using it, then schools, then television. Eventually, Millions of people use it without ever knowing who first said it. Color names probably spread in much the same way. One family used a word. Their children repeated it, their neighbors copied it, generation after generation. The words became part of everyday language. Nobody planned it, nobody voted on it. Language simply evolved, one conversation at a time. The next time you look at a bright blue sky or a deep red sunset, remember this: the colors were always there. Nature painted them long before humans existed. What humans created were the words, and those words carry the history of thousands of years of curiosity, culture, and imagination. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's strangest questions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with another question you've always wondered about.